Are you a torturer or are you not? It's up to you. And I made a choice not to become the torturer, to break the cycle that turns them into each other. When I think of freedom, absolute freedom, which is at a cost, I always think of that lone man in Tiananmen Square standing with no gun, with no nothing in front of town. That man in that very moment has his life in his hand. And he is absolutely free because despite everything, he's standing his ground. That is, to me, the ultimate meaning of humanity, of courage, and of freedom. I was released 2 years, 2 months, 12 days after my arrest. My torturer husband was assassinated by a rival faction of the government 15 months after our marriage. His family fought for my release and they got me home. I was just shy of 19 when I got home, sat at the dinner table with my parents and watched in astonishment as, after 2 years, they talk about the weather. Okay, so the message is it didn't happen. Get a grip, get over it, move on. I tried, guilty as charged. I tried my very best for 20 years, but the past is like an elastic band is tied around your waist and it will pull you in. You run, top speed, and then you get to the point that the resistance of that elastic around your waist is much stronger than yours. So, you're back and you hit the wall behind you. And it hurts. And that is the point where when you have to decide who you are. Are you the victim? Are you the torturer? Or are you neither? Because there is a difference here. You can become a survivor. And a survivor is not a victim, has the history of the victim, but it's not the victim. And a survivor is not a torturer. A survivor stands between the two, is the lone man in Tiananmen Square who says, no way over my dead body. Now I'm going to end the final 2 minutes with a message to you, my dear fellow Canadians. How many of you are really, really familiar with the recent bills that have been passed through our House? In this country, we have democracy and we bicker about our politicians. But we don't even know what's going on in our House. Democracy is like water in the palm of your hands. You take your eyes off it for a split second, it's going to drip. In a democracy, we don't have the luxury of complaining about our politicians because we put them there. And if you don't know what laws are being passed in this country, that means that you don't care about the future of your children. That's the stark reality. How many of you know what bills C10, C30, and C31 are? Really no. The refugee bill, the crime bill, and the internet surveillance bill. Anybody? No. So we have democracy in this country, which is what people in my country, Iran, are dying for it, and we are not using it. It will die. I guarantee you. If you have a rocking chair in your basement, you're not using it, you're going to put it up for sale, get $5 within your pocket. We are spending millions and billions of dollars every year to maintain our democracy. All these elections, politicians, like look at the liberal, leadership race right now. I mean, if we don't care, why should we have them? Let's just scrap the democracy, save millions of dollars, have a dear leader like they do in North Korea, but please, let's choose a more handsome one. That guy is a joke. So at least, a tall one with a lot of muscles and somebody you can actually look at and not feel ashamed, and put him up there and call him dear leader and just go about our business. Democracy needs maintenance. You don't maintain it. I don't maintain it. I promise you, it is going to die. We need to take care of democracy, and the only way to do it is by doing our homework half an hour a day. I promise you we'll do. You have half an hour a day for democracy, and it's not going to get you in prison, at least not yet. So thank you so much for your time, Jane. I don't know if we have time for, sorry, my legs are not in best shape, all together because of some things.
Maybe if you want to do Q&A, you can just, there's a bench, like right
No, I will stand. I'm just telling you, I have funny facial expressions. That's because I'm fighting, a lot of pain, but I can do it. So, please, if you have any, do we have time?
We can have time for questions. We can make it like 2 questions and then the rest we'll do.
Sounds
There's
like
like a bench there.
Okay, 2 questions. Yeah.
Aside from taking half an hour a day to educate ourselves and make ourselves aware, what do you recommend that people like us can do? We're like young, busy moms who are struggling every day with our kids' tantrums and whatnot, and it's hard to see the bigger picture. So what do you recommend that somebody who's like very busy like us could do?
Educate yourself. I'm not exactly a young mother right now, but if you look at the list of things I do, it will probably make you dizzy. I'm very busy as well. When I wake up in the morning, you don't have to do it first thing in the morning, but my schedule. When I wake up in the morning very early, at around 5:30 a.m., what I do is I take a very quick glance at what's going on in the world. Now I have my own sources, they are all online. And you can choose your own trusted sources. So you have to, it doesn't take more than 10 minutes. You don't have to read everything in detail. But if you don't know a whole lot about what's going on in your own country, make the point of what's going on in the heart of our democracy, which is the House. So look at the laws that are being passed, read about them, look at the previous laws, and decide for yourself whether you like them or not. One of the things you can do is pretty quickly, spend about a week reading and educating yourself online. I mean, now Google it, right? Look at what's going on in Canada, in your own world, in your own corner of the world, because we cannot fix Canada. If we cannot take care of democracy here, we cannot do anything for the world. And that's reality. So look at it and pick up something, whether you want to fight for the rights of women, whether you want to fight for the rights of the child, whether you want to fight for the rights of gays, whether you want to fight for the rights of refugees, whether you want to fight for the rights of men, whatever, take your pick. There are so many options out there, whatever. Pick something that is for the poor, that is huge. Something that is close to your heart, and then you know your talents. I don't know your talents. Look at your talents and come with an innovative way to do something in that realm. Okay, whether it is to write a letter to your MP and MPs, but send that letter every day until you get an answer. It's so easy to do it these days. You don't even need a post-it stamp. Keep sending and encourage your friends, because if the MP or the MPP, they get 355 emails a day and their box crashes, then they would have to do something about it. Put pressure. This is what the people are supposed to do in democracy. The people are supposed to put pressure on the politicians. Politicians would notice eventually. Right now they can see nobody cares, but eventually they would notice that, I think the people are watching us. Maybe we should be doing something about the specific issue in our communities. So then they would address it. I gave you this example of this woman whose name, unfortunately, I cannot share right now because it's going through the court system. But, for example, start a petition. This is what I have been planning to do for the past week. But unfortunately, I have been so busy. But I'm fighting for her with a lawyer, so many different levels. But one of the things you can do maybe to help me out, for example, would be to start a petition. And nowadays, it's just, online, it's free. You can just do it and then circulate it. Get it signed. And then I also believe in personal presence. Again, maybe there is a way for you. No matter how busy you are, maybe you can give an hour a week. If not this year, maybe next year. But keep it in your mind, because your kids are not going to remain this little forever. So make plans, get ahead of the game, get active. I know so many young mothers who are doing a huge amount of amazing work. So it's usually an excuse when we say, I'm really busy. You can be really busy for the rest of your life. Doesn't mean, you can't do anything for forever and ever. So look at it, but be serious about it and be dedicated, because it is your future and it is the future of your children. And again, when it gets to the tipping point, then you're going to be tortured and killed. Is that where you want to go? I don't.
Marina, I'm really sorry. There's people shaking heads at me from the
people shaking heads. Okay.
So,
okay. Thank you so much. You can find me. We can talk about things. I don't want this to be a closed deal. It's a dialogue. It's a discussion. Thank you.